Hey there friends, fans, and collectors. Welcome to another episode of Binary Sunset Review. Today we're going to be talking about the San Diego Comic-Con HasLab reveal of the Ghost. Now this vehicle was greatly anticipated by fans for a long time. We've been calling for it for years. Finally this vehicle is here in the vintage collection just as we've always dreamed. And man, it does look amazing.
Commence primary ignition.
The Ghost, of course, was made famous by the show Star Wars Rebels. Now, this was an animated show on Disney XD that premiered about 9 years ago, had 4 seasons, and finally came to a close around 4 or 5 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. And this show was amazing. Now, a lot of people knocked it off for being an animated show, but it really was all penned by Dave Filoni. The scripts were also run by George Lucas, and this thing seriously had some heart and soul to it. It spanned the entire timeline of the Star Wars saga, the first 6 episodes, and it really had quite a following, myself included. Now, this show, it had introduced a lot of things that were new to the universe, but one of the reasons it was great is it stayed grounded on a lot of things that were Star Wars established, old trilogy, necessities, names, places, and this vehicle is exactly one of the examples. So this vehicle itself is a Corellian VCX 100, that's the actual name of it, and it is a popular Corellian freighter that has been around in Star Wars lore for years and years and years. It was officially name-plated and made even more famous with this show, but these Corellian freighters are just wonderful ships, so traditionally Star Wars, and they're gonna look so fabulous next to the Falcon up there. I can't wait to add more vehicles to this collection, and I'm really happy that HasLab is listening to the fans who have been calling for this vehicle for years. Now the dimensions for the Ghost are pretty gigantic. I am excited to say that this vehicle is going to be bigger than the Falcon. It's, if not as big as the Falcon, it's going to be definitely bigger than the Razorcrest, with dimensions of 28 inches wide, 34 inches long, and 13 inches tall. This thing is going to tower and look like a great showpiece on any collector's shelf. We got a great glimpse at the detail in this vehicle with some of the promotional images that are not only on the page for this HasLab, which went live, but also at San Diego Comic-Con itself, they had an in-hand version of the Ghost, and they had a video of the walkthrough of this, which was made wildly popular and looks incredibly cool. Now, I can't wait to see even more and more detail in this vehicle, but just starting off, we have landing gear that are beautifully removable. We have an opening hatch, a cargo hatch that opens right down in front of the gunner position. That gunner position can also be fully rotated and fit with a figure, which has the removable cockpit, which reveals the fact you can also put 4 seated characters as well as other people if you'd like to have them standing around. The detail and the amount of space in this vehicle is truly astounding. One of the things that I like the most is the 360-degree turret that is on the top of the Ghost. It can be fitted with any figure. It actually fully comes out, and so it doesn't look or feel like a toy coming apart in that kind of way. It more so looks like a tiny little vehicle coming apart. But this turret can go 360 degrees. We see this turret used so many times throughout all 4 seasons of Rebels, and it's great to see this notable feature added into the Ghost. Speaking of notable features, the Ghost has a docking shuttle that can deploy as its own little vehicle that comes off the back of it. This shuttle not only was lost throughout the series, but it was replaced with a second version of the shuttle, which is beautifully painted and rendered in this HasLab creation. Now this shuttle is a fully detailed separate vehicle that can fit a figure. It also has separately detailed landing gear so it can come down and look as if it's landing, as well as neatly docked in the back of the docking bay on the ship itself. This amount of detail is what we expect from the vintage collection. It's especially great for creatures and vehicles that we've seen on screen for years, that we've imagined playing with these opening docks and these moving pieces and these moving shuttles that make it so much more important. It officially became funded about a day ago, so this had a benchmark of 8,000 people who had to invest in this in order for it to be printed at all. We hit that number in the first couple days, As of now, as of checking, the number stands at 8426. This number continually keeps going up. The crowdfunding is open for another 42 days, and so I will leave the link definitely below. I urge everyone who's ever been interested in this vehicle or in the vintage collection or in HasLabs at all to invest in this project. This is going to be a particularly amazing item, and as with every HasLab before it, there are certain tiers that if we reach certain numbers of investment, things will be added bonus into the box. Now, already in the box, of course, is the Ghost itself, the Phantom 2 shuttle, and a carded figure of the pilot, the famous pilot, Hera Syndulla herself. And this is in the Vintage Collection card back, of course, and the art back depicts the mural that was seen in the season finale of the show itself. Now the tiers, once we've added on additional numbers, of course would add to filling out the Ghost crew. Next in line is Ezra Bridger. Now once we receive 11,000 backers, Ezra Bridger will be added to the box, his carded figure continuing the mural of the unique carded release of these Rebel figures in the Vintage Collection. Next up after that, the Jedi Master to Ezra at 14,000. Kanan Jarrus will be added into the box too. Also, card back continuing the mural with this unique deployment of this first ever Vintage Collection character. Last but not least, at 17,000 backers, we will see Zeb Orrellos. This character will also be added to the box once we reach 17,000 backers, and the card back will also continue the exclusive mural. Please do back these figures. It is really great to be finally getting the option of the Ghost for collectors and to see it in the Vintage Collection. And we've been calling for a long time to get Vintage Collection releases of Rebels characters. As we saw in San Diego Comic-Con, there are a couple more down the pipeline that were revealed, and of course, I hope to be seeing many more soon. We need to fill out the Rebels crew, so please do back this HasLab. I'll leave the link below. Once we get the numbers up, we have the ability to fill out the entire crew. This Ghost vehicle certainly can fill all of them and more in it, so it's gonna be exciting. Keep monitoring here as I continue to tick up the numbers as we get closer to Tier 3 and the end of the crowdfunding season. Thanks for watching another episode of Binary Sunset Review. As always, I've been Mike. Your likes and your views are greatly appreciated. Please leave your comments below. Let me know what you think about the Rebels show, these characters finally making it to Vintage Collection, and the HasLab itself. If you have any other information about this reveal or anything you'd like to see in the Vintage Collection, also put that forward. I love when our community converses with itself and we talk about these really awesome collectibles that we love. Have a great day out there. Stay safe, stay sane, and remember, the Force will be with you, always.
I'm just a simple man trying to make my way in the universe.